Hello friends, welcome to our channel Know the Law, and here I am Advocate Jyoti Chodia. Today we are going to know about the aids to read and understand the Indian Constitution. So basically what are the words or the concept which help us in reading the barrett of the Indian Constitution as a whole, like preamble, title, chapter, part, schedule, article, clause, subclause, proviso, and so on. Let us study them one by one in detail. So, basic of our today's video is how to read the Indian Constitution. So, before that, we will So let's note some basic history behind how it was written and by whom it was written before starting our today's video. So originally the Indian Constitution was handwritten by the Prem Bihari Narayan style with beautiful calligraphy. The original copies of the Indian Constitution are handwritten in Hindi as well as in English, which are kept in a special helium filled case in the library of Delhi. If anyone wants to observe and see the original copies of the Indian Constitution, can pay a visit to the Indian Parliament in Delhi and can see the Constitution of India, which are well preserved in the in the library of the Indian Parliament in Delhi. So to read the Constitution is an art. As in previous videos we have seen, the Constitution is regarded as the supreme law in the India, that is as the law of land. So a reading of a Constitution is regarded as an art. So, more than other laws, the layout of the Indian Constitution is different. But obvious, if the Constitution is regarded as a law of the land on which other laws in India prevail or depend upon, so it is but obvious the layout of the Indian Constitution is going to be different. For example, it has articles, preamble, marginal notes, schedules, and so on. So let us study them one by one. Before that, we see this picture. If we visit a library, the books are divided into various cupboards or various parts, we can see. Suppose this is part A, part B, part A, part C, D. If one wants to know the history books or want to read the history books, he will visit B, where books of for mathematics are kept, whereas in C the geography are kept, where in science are kept. So whichever, so it creates a systematic view for any reader who wants to read a particular type of book, and this will not create a mess in the library. To find out the books are kept case with the annotated so that the viewers can or the readers can read it comfortably without any mishap or like confusion that what is meaning of this paragraph or what is meaning of that paragraph and so on. Among them, the first is the title. So every law has a title. From the title of the law, we come to know the purpose and the scope of the law. In short, without reading that particular article. So this is the original copy of the first page of the original copy of the Indian Constitution, where it says the Constitution of India. Of which are written at the cover page of the book is known as the title of the book or the statute. Book has to say or what is written in the book itself. So this is the title. Next is the preamble. So Indian constitution is consists of the preamble, which includes the main objectives of the constitution. According to the Supriya, the part of the constitution, as we have seen what is the preamble meaning, preamble in detail in our page over there, and you can know the detail about the preamble. So, according to the various cases which came up before the Honorable Supreme Court of India, the it regarded the preamble as a part and parcel of the Indian Constitution itself. Therefore, the court presumes the preamble as a device to interpret the article of the Constitution if there arises any ambiguity or confusion while interpreting the articles. So, this is the main or the original page where the preamble is written. It says that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute in the sovereign, democratic, republic, secular, socialist, justice, liberty, equality, and so on. Which means it gives a layout by whom the constitution is formed, who formed the constitution, what is the type of the constitution, what the constitution has to achieve from this law, and to whom it is applicable over, and when the constitution came into force. So all these details are written in the way the constitution as a whole. If one doesn't want to read the constitution as a whole, can just simply see the preamble and get to know what is all written in the constitution. Next is the part Indian constitution is regarded as the world's largest written constitution. It is to easily understand the constitution so far. For the convenience purpose, it is classified in different parts. For example, the fundamental rights is laid down in part 3, whereas citizenship is laid down in part 2. Directive principles of state policy are laid down in part 4 of the constitution. I will explain this with the example. This is the picture of the barrack, the index page of the barrack of the constitution. This index is not given in the original copy, which is kept in the parliament. Um so while seeing this picture, we came to know that there is part 1, part 2, part 3. From we can easily come to know which part consists of which topic. Like part 1 consists of the union and its territory, part 2 consists of the citizenship, part 3 consists of the fundamental rights. Of the library where the books are divided into various parts, so the reader can easily go to that section and pick up that particular book which he wants. So is the case with the constitution of India. The whole, so the constitution is divided into various parts. And so next is the chapter. Indian Constitution, as also earlier said, the world's largest written constitution. So for the easy understanding and convenience, the parts in the constitution are further divided into chapters. The tenure, the power, state, language that is official, what will the official language, and so on. As we have seen in the earlier picture, also and this picture also, like the part 5 consists of the union, which is further, the union doesn't limit to the union as only, but it is further divided into executive, parliamentary, that is legislative, and the union judiciary, that is the Supreme Court of India. So what will the powers and function of the president of and vice president of India, and what are their tenures, salary are all laid down in the uh, thereupon, all which are divided into various chapters, like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Chapter 3, uh, as the part is a very wider concept or the bigger concept, it is for the divided for the readers for their convenience into various chapters. Next is again we can see the of language. Again the language is also very wider concepts, so it is again divided into chapters: chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. Chapter 1 speaks about the language of the union, what will the language of the union. Chapter 2 speaks about what will the language at the ground level or at the village level. What will the language used by the Supreme Court and the high courts, and what will be the how the special languages which are spoken by and how it will be conveyed to the further generation and all. So it is laid down in the special directives chapter 4. This is how the to the marginal notes. Which helps to understand the effect of the section or the repetition of the section. That means here we can see in the picture that part 1 is of the concepts of the union and territory, and this is the article says about the union and name of the name and territory of the union. That means it is for the convenience of the reader to know what the article 1 speaks about, what will be the territory of the union, and what will be the name of the union, which says like India, that is Bharat, and shall be the union of states. And furthermore, it is for the convenience of the reader, but while interpreting in the any code for that purpose, be the district court, be the magistrate court, be the high court, be the for the Supreme Court, it cannot be used for the interpretation purpose uh, before the courts. It is only for the reader's convenience and nothing else. Next, here we come the articles. So what is meant by basically the article? Article refers to different and separate written instrument which may be within a constitution or a statute or a contract, which is further divided under sections. When any important fundamental document is drafted, which may be the ground, then the division of it mostly referred to as article. For example, UDHR, that is Universal, again the American Constitution where the articles are used. Again, in the Indian Constitution, of course, we use the word article. So basically, article means, for example, in the Indian context, under part 1, the union and its territory, the before example, this is considered as article, and this is also considered as article. So basically, article a, means a concept which are used in a very important or the which serves as the law of the land of the country, and which is the utmost important for a particular country, on which all the laws which are going to be formulated will depend on that, which is called a constitution. For that purpose only we can use the word article and not for other laws. Like we use, for example, we use in the IPC the section 3 not 2, which we everyone know that is about the punishment for the murder. There we use the article in the constitution and not the section. So what is meant by the section? Section refers to a subdivision of a statute or a textbook or a legal code. They are further they are the further subdivision of articles and collective forms of articles. Like for example, we use it in IPC, CRPC, CPC, contract, evidence, and so on. So basically sections are used here. There is no word use the brown norm or the use in the constitution purpose for the very important document purpose, but here the words are used the statute or a textbook or a legal code. That means for an ordinary laws we use the sections, and for the important ones that serve as a ground for overall laws that are prevailing in a country, where we use the articles. For example, as we have already seen, explained, the Article 302, which speaks about the punishment of murder, which says whoever commits a murder shall be punishable with death or imprisonment of life, or shall be liable for fine. This is what the section and the articles. So as we have seen the what is meant by article and what is meant by section, so what is the reason as to why the articles are used in the Indian constitution? Because of the reason, India is a prolonged written constitution. Suppose if the whole constitution would have been written in a form of a paragraph, then we wouldn't have been able to read the entire constitution, and it would have been a very complicated, also could not have been able to distinguish between the fundamental rights, DPSP, duties, and so on. Also, the implementation of the constitution would have become so difficult. That is why, to avoid all these problems, the whole constitution have been divided into parts, chapters, articles, and so on. Articles should be interpreted in the wider terms. For example, we take the Article 21, which speaks about right to life, that is, right to life and personal liberty. Article is Articles are self-contained composition and therefore different from the sections. So basically, articles are very self-sufficient in themselves. They are not dependent on any other section or any other article of the constitution itself. So the word article are used, whereas in case of section they are dependent upon any other section or any other laws from any other uh, sections from any other law. They are not self-sufficient within themselves. They have to depend on others. As there is no rule, any word can be used anywhere. That is, article can be used in acts and sections can also be used in the constitution. But as there is no strict rules that articles should be used in the constitution and not in the other laws which are prevailing in India, and so on. This is not perspective. Whenever we refer to the constitution of India, we must use the word article, as our constitution is being into articles and not sections. That is why the Indian constitution is regarded the supreme law of India or the law of land. So in Indian scenario we use articles in the constitution and not the section. Whereas Whenever we are referring to any separate act which is binding on a citizen of the country, we should use the word section, as all the acts of India contain section rather than articles. That means all the laws which are prevailing in India are all dependent upon the constitution of India. So in all the laws, be the CP, CRPC, evidence, or any other arms act or any other law, for that purpose the section word has to be used for defining that particular law and not the article. Next is the clause. Clause in is a statement that explains or expands the scope of the article further. For example, uh, as we have seen that it is regarded as the article. So, by broadly seeing the article, we cannot understand what is uh, written in the in that particular article. So, it is for the convenience of the reader. It is divided into clauses like clause one, clause two, clause three, which speaks. Clause one speaks about the clause two. Clause two speaks that states and thereof shall be as specified in the first schedule. Meant by shall comprise. Again, these are as considered as the sub clauses. This is clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, clause 1. So this is example of the clause, how clause appears in constitution. Subclause. Subclause means the further division of the larger. I have uh, explained what is the subclause. Subclause means the article. This is clause 1, clause 2, and clause 3. So clause 3 is further divided into subclause. Subclause 1, subclause B, subclause C. Subclause A speaks about the territories of the state. Subclause B speaks about the unit specified in the C says about the such other territories which may be as required. So basically, Article 1 speaks what can be included as territory of India and what shall be the name of the union. So this is all about the article, clause, and subclause. So further is the word explanation we see in the constitution. So what is meant by the explanation? Explanation means if any particular word or sentence that appears in the article and has to be interpreted in a different manner, then explanation of it is given after the completion of that particular article only, or a particular clause. For example, if we see this article 3 here, so basically if with say if explanation 1 says in this article, in clause A to E, state shall include a union territory, but the proviso state does not include the union territory. That means in part, in so in clause A to E, the state will include the union territory, but there is a proviso, that is provided that the sentence which starts provided that is known as the proviso. So in for the proviso purpose, wherever this word state is used, that will not include the union territory. Second explanation says that power conferred on the parliament by clause A includes the power to form a territory by uniting a part of any state or union territory to any other state or union territory. So what basically clause A speaks that A speaks form a new state by separation of territory from any state or by uniting two or more states or parts of states or uniting any territory to a part of any state. That means the parliament has the power, that is parliament has the power to make or form any state by dividing the parts of the existing states and forming a new state, or dividing the some part of union territory and some part of the states and creating a whole new state, and so on. That is the whole power lies within the parliament. That is the main this is the meaning of the explanation 1 and explanation 2, and how it appears in the constitution and how it is to be read out for that particular purpose, and it only appears in of that particular article and not after that. So next here comes the repeal and omission. In Indian constitution is considered to be a living document. That means the Indian constitution comes under the amendment or the keeps on changing upon requirements of the changing society. So it is considered as a living document. Therefore, the constitution has to remove the expired provisions, that is to repeal or omit some particular provisions. As the society changes, the time changes, so the constitution has to be changed, as we have considered Indian constitution as a living constitution. Accordingly, for example, we can see here subclause F omitted by the Constitution 44th Amendment Act of 1978, with the effect from 20th 6 1979. That means the subclause which was in the Article 19 was removed by amending the Constitution in 1978. That is the 44th, known as the 4th Amendment, and which came in from the June 1979. For example, that means here is the Article 19, and here is the clause 1, and here is the subclause F. See here the sequence: subclause A, subclause B, subclause C, subclause D, subclause E, and but we can't see here F, but here we can see G. See G, but F is not appearing. That means it has been repealed and removed by the amending the constitution, which is not needed as the time or the society has changed since the enforcement of the constitution. So this is means this is how the repeal, if it. Next is the amendment. Amendment means Indian constitution is regarded as the living constitution, as we have already seen. According to the changing society, the needs of the society also changes. So it is necessary to bring the change or amend the constitution accordingly. For example, by the 86th amendment to the Indian constitution, the right to education was inserted in the Indian constitution as a fundamental right by the 42nd amendment to the constitution. The word social also constitution, and so on various amendments. Till now more than 100 amendments are done to the constitution of India, for because of the changes in the society or the needs of the changing society. For example, here we can see the Article 21A. Originally, there was no, Article 28 was not there in the original document, but according to the change of the need of the society, changing need of the society, Article 21A was inserted, which gave the right to education. That means free and compulsory education to all children was provided between the age of 6 to 14 years of age by the state. So basically, every children in the country who is between the 6 to 14 have been provided the right to education, that to be free and compulsory. And for that, the state government has to look upon how the education can be provided to the children in the country. It is the duty casted upon the state and as well as on the parents as well under the fundamental duties as well. So this is how the right to education came as the fundamental right by amending the constitution, and this is how the amendment in the constitution has to be read out. Footnote, which means the reference or explanation or the comments on a particular article, that is usually kept at the bottom of the text on the same page. That means if for the particular article there is an explanation or the comment or the reference, then that has to be laid down bottom of same page and not only another page. Original source of the, for example, the original source of the words are also mentioned in the footnote. Constitution amendments are also mentioned in the footnotes. Again, the removal of the provision are also mentioned in the see here. Footnotes. Something was inserted in the 19 by the 1907 seventh amendment. Again, some clause as we have seen above was given in the reference in the footnote that it was omitted by the constitution amending constitution 40 and so on. So what the amendment to the constitution has been done, which year it was done, and what is the number of the amendment, again from which year the particular omission or the come into force, and any other references or the comment on that particular article or case laws very important sometimes also means will appear on the same page or about which the article has to be said. For suppose uh, 3A and 43B, there is some comment as we can see here. There is one written over here, two written over here. So if we have to see what is 43A, but here front one is what is meant by one. So come to the footnote and read the number one, which says that inserted by the Constitution 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, and where the second number here is written, it says here second number inserted by the Constitution 97th Amendment Act 2011. Here we can see. So if the numbering is written 1 2 3 before the starting end of article, so come to the footnote of the same page and see the numbering, same numbering, 1 to whatever it is written. You can find what is the reference given to that article. So this is how the footnote has to be read in a particular in the constitution for the particular article. Next is the schedule. Schedule Indian largest written constitution. The schedule includes the form of some subjects and listing. For example, in the list of the states and the unions territories are provided. Whereas in the seventh schedule, we can see the subject on which the central and the state government can make the laws and so on. So the constitution becomes less bulky, smooth, and reduce the complexity. As we have already seen that, learned or seen that the constitution is regarded as the world's largest written constitution. So to lessen that lengthiness or the bulkiness in the constitution further, by mentioning after that central government can make the laws on what the topics the state government can make the laws and so on. Again, what are the union territories of the India, what are the state, how many states are there, and what are their names, etc. All everything has to be mentioned in the constitution, will make the constitution again more bulky and more congested and uncomfortable to read by the readers and to be interpreted by the court as well. So the schedule at the end of the constitution are made to remove that, to make the smoothing, to smooth the uh, constitution, to reduce that complexity and also uh, to lessen the bulkiness or the lengthiness of the constitution. For example, here we read along with that particular section where the schedule appears in the constitution or in a particular article has to be read in with reference accordingly, hand in hand, and not after that afterwards. It contains the minute details which add the information to that particular provision of that enactment. If that in suppose in article 21 is article 1 says that there is a list of the union territories which is defined in the first schedule, then we have to directly go to the first schedule and get to know what are the list of the states in India. Means the article and the schedule will go hand in hand at that time only. The expression of the schedule cannot be override the meaning of the provision. Means whatever is written in the article will not be overridden by that schedule. So this is the example of the schedule. This is how the appears the index page of the schedule. This is the first schedule where the list of the states, list of the union territories are mentioned. Again, second schedule consists of the provisions for the president and the speakers and the chairmans, deputy chairmans, and so on. Third schedule. Fourth schedule, fifth schedule consists of the provisions as to the administration and consists of to administration of tribal areas of in the state in the Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Whereas the seventh schedule consists of the three lists, that is union list, state list, concurrent list, and so on. So while viewing in, for example, we'll go in particular, that is seventh schedule, how it appears. So like it can make the laws on the can make the laws for the naval. It can diminish the containment arms, firearms, emissions. Again, it can make laws for atomic energy. Again, it can control or make the laws for preventive detentions. Again, it can make the laws for the diplomatics, consulars, trade representatives. Again, war and peace, foreign jurisdictions, extraditions, citizenship, pilgrimage outside the India. Again, also the railways comes also under the purview of Union Parliament for making the laws. So this is the list on which this is how the list appears in the schedules on which the Union Parliament can make the laws, and this is how the article and the schedule has to be read hand in hand. So this is all about the list. Next and the last part is the proviso. Proviso is used to remove the special cases of the general enactment and give them special recognition, which means its condition without the fulfillment of which the particular article or section or clause cannot be enforced. It appears just below the article or section or clause where the condition has to be put forth for its enforcement. For example, here we can see the article 3, and here is a proviso. Every proviso starts with provided that or a condition that has to be fulfilled for the enforcement of article. If the proviso is not fulfilled, then we cannot enforce that particular article uh, under which the proviso runs. This is the meaning of the proviso that has to be read in that sense, which if it appears in the constitution. So, friends, this is all about how to read the Constitution of India, why the articles are used, how the schedule has to be read out, how the proviso has to be read out, the preamble, and so on. So, friends, if you have understood how to read the Barract of the Indian Constitution as a whole, then please do like and share our videos as much as possible. And yes, don't forget to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon, which will keep you updated about our upcoming videos. And thank you, friends, for watching our videos till end. So meet you in next video. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Bye.